is March into Madness on CBS 5, live from Rosie's. Brought to you by your Central New York Chevy dealers, cnYchevy.com, and by Mark's Pizzeria.
One hour and 15 minutes until tip-off in Boston. If you left right now, you would not make it, so sit tight. Good evening, everyone. I'm Michael Benning, along with Matt Mulcahy and Nico Tamurian. We are getting you ready live here from Rosie's Sports Pub and Grill, right at the base of Tip Hill.
This is one of many sports bars across central New York, reaching probably from, say, the Finger Lakes to Utica and Watertown and even Binghamton. I mean, people are ready for this game tonight. People decked out in orange, getting ready to see Syracuse take on Wisconsin.
And Matt, don't forget all the people in those towns you mentioned glued right here to CBS 5 tonight to watch the game. Now, let's talk a little bit about this matchup. SU coach Jim Boeheim and Wisconsin coach Bo Ryan. They're actually friends, and over the years, they've sat together at Final Fours. Bo Ryan even mentioning that Julie always has licorice on her and gives it to her. Now, you're seeing video right here of the last time these two teams played. It was the NABC Classic in 1999. Syracuse won that game 68-49. Preston Shumpert with a big game. Another little-known fact in this game, each team had a Duane. Queth Duane from the SU national title team was in his freshman year, and Wisconsin had his older brother, Duane in this game, which, of course, SU won by 19.
Sports Director John Evanson and our Alex Dunbar are both in Beantown covering the team. John joins us now with more on, I guess you could call it the team's psyche, as they gear up for this tonight, and as we, of course, look back at a season that was truly rough when we talk about what happened off the court. John.
It is an absolutely gorgeous night in Boston tonight. It feels like Red Sox weather outside, but of course, the color we're concentrating on tonight is the orange, and we're seeing lots of that around the TD Garden here as Orange Nation starts to take over. Syracuse taking on Wisconsin tonight. These teams could not have two drastically different styles. They're just totally different teams. The Orange, of course, like to get up and down the court. They love their transition ball. Wisconsin, they're going to try to slow things down tonight. Of course, Syracuse has their patented 2-3 zone. Wisconsin stifling on defense with their man-to-man. So the Orange, they say they're up for, yet another challenge tonight. It was a much looser SU basketball team in practice than we saw come into Pittsburgh last week. With the Fab Melo ineligibility reality now processed, and with an impressive win over Kansas State to work off of, the Orange ready to get back to work against the Wisconsin Badgers.
We're all just dying to get some more wins and play next round and all. And just basically staying mentally focused and just doing what we do in practice, making sure we're warm, making sure we're loose, recovering our bodies, and I just can't wait to play.
The Orange know how tough the Badgers are, how they like to slow down the game and protect the ball like no other, but they're counting on what brought them success all year to pull them through.
We know they're going to do a great job keeping the tempo down, so we just got to make them feel uncomfortable, like I said, and just try to make them play our game.
Now, just as the key to success for the Orange is Scoop Jardine's effectiveness, the Badgers win or lose with the stellar play of their point guard, Jordan Taylor. He has a ridiculous assist-to-turnover ratio. He never gives up the ball, averages 14 points a game, 4 assists. Scoop Jardine and Jordan Taylor, they know each other very well. They played in a basketball camp, worked out against each other this past summer, so they respect each other, and they both know what they're facing tonight.
He's a great kid off the court, That's what I really liked about him, and on the court he's a bulldog. He really works hard, and the things he's done in the 4 years that he's been at school is great. I respect the guy, and I know it's going to be a great game, and I'm happy to be, to play against a tough guy like that.
Scoop's definitely a very good player. I'm looking forward to going against him, but not just him. Deion Waiters, Brandon Trish, all those guys. They got a lot of good players over there.
Two very balanced teams. We're going to see a lot of talent out on the floor tonight, and not as much balance, though, one street over, Alex. We were just over there. Looks all orange to me.
Oh, it's all orange. I mean, when you think about it, the past few Orange Sweet 16 games have been long-distance losses. They had to go to Phoenix, to Memphis, to Salt Lake City. A lot of fans hoping that by playing closer to home, that will help the Orange break the ice. Syracuse fans rallying across the city of Boston today at longtime Syracuse-friendly spot, the Poorhouse in the Back Bay neighborhood. It didn't matter where you were from or where you went, as long as you were rooting for the Orange.
And I'll tell you what, it never gets old. I get just as excited today as I did 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable.
The camaraderie here is fantastic. These guys who are all younger than me treat me unbelievably. I've been blessed for 25 years doing this, and I'm very thankful.
On the other side of the city, the Syracuse Alumni Club hosting an event at West End Johnny's, just a few blocks from the TD Garden.
And we had a great experience wherever we went. So close, far, we're going to go, and we had a great time.
But on a beautiful day like this, many fans just wanted to be outdoors. This is perfect Newbury Street shopping weather, or a chance to soak in the sun before heading to the game.
Just something that's going on outside, just trying to find some other Syracuse fans. I mean, we saw the team. We saw some guys on the team yesterday. We met them, so it was nice.
And with this beautiful weather, the fans are just have the full package out here in Boston so far.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, unfortunately, those fans can't score a point or grab a rebound, but fans say, don't underestimate the power of having that crowd on SU's side.
Oh, it's going to be crazy in there tonight. We'll have much more, of course, coming up in the hour, but for now, reporting live from Boston, Massachusetts, this is Alex Dunbar. I'm John Evanson.
Well, thank you, John and Alex. We'll be heading back live to Boston over the next hour to hear more from them. You can also follow them on Twitter, reporting on the Orange, including during tonight's game. Just follow their signs there at CNY Evanson, also at Nico Tamurian, who's here right now, too.
We are just a breath away, an hour and a breath. How about that? That's how great my math is. As we sit
That's why you're in broadcast.
7 minutes after the hour right now, and as we continue with Syracuse basketball legend who helped to propel SU to the school's first Final Four, Jimmy Lee is here to reflect and to look ahead at this season. And he is the one who's become really the center of attention in the wake of Fab Melo being declared ineligible. Rakeem Christmas. John Evan is one-on-one with him as we continue. We're just getting started here from Rosie's in Syracuse. Much more to come on this Sweet 16 special presentation, the March into Madness.
Welcome back to March into Madness, live from Rosie's. Brought to you by your Central New York Chevy dealers, CNYChevy.com, and by Mark's Pizzeria.
Well, as we come back in from the break, let's show you how SU's tournament bracket will round out. If they beat Wisconsin tonight, take on the winner of Ohio State versus Cincinnati in the Elite Eight Saturday. You can see both those games on CBS 5. They're starting tonight at 7:15. And then, of course, the Elite Eight round would be Saturday, late afternoon, early evening. First game probably about 4:15. The second game more in the 7 o'clock range on Saturday night. So that's the way things set up for the next couple of days. Of course, you got to win tonight before you can
Absolutely, and what better man to ask about how you advance past the Sweet 16 and SU legend to Matt's right. Jim Lee, of course, you hit the game-winning shot in the 1975 Sweet 16, propelling the Orange over North Carolina and eventually to the 1975 Final Four. Thanks so much for joining us, Jim.
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. And when you get, yeah, go ahead.
Do those memories seem like just yesterday to you? Or does it seem like 30-something years ago?
My body feels like 30-some years ago, but I remember everything that happened.
Really? What was it like back then compared to what it is now in terms of the Final Four? It's such a big deal now. Was it still a big deal? I mean, had it become that yet?
I mean, it was a big deal, but not like the way the media covers it now. And everything that you have really is geared to the Final Four from the beginning of the season. And the Final Four, there were 48 teams and we went, but it didn't have the media coverage or all the glitz and glamour that it did, but it's the same tournament. So no matter what, without the glitz and glimmer, we still got our way to the Final Four.
We did.
The video here, bring back any memories?
I hope the shot, I bet, hasn't changed.
No.
I hope they only show the ones I made.
That tends to be the nature of highlights. And a pass.
Look at that pass there.
Did anybody ever accuse you of not passing enough?
People don't understand. He goes, I led the team in assists my junior and senior year. All my friends bust me, but...
Well, I think they also wanted you to shoot a little bit, probably, so that's why. And there you go. Wow. If you'd had the three-point line, would that change your game a little bit, you think?
I would have had a few more points. I mean, back then, everything was basically geared toward getting the ball inside, getting the closest shot you can, because back then, that was the best percentage shot is what you had to do. And so, yeah, but if you look at it, I probably would have had a few more points. the one thing is, with the three-pointer, then more shots would have went my way because they would have set it up that way.
Right.
Which wasn't really the case back then. You had to get it inside first.
Gotcha.
Now, Jim, certainly you have a book here called 15 Feet for Free about free throw shooting, and the Orange typically over the past few years has been known for not shooting very well at the line. Namely, a guard, and Scoop Jardine is 53% on the season. What can these guys work on to be better at the charity stripe?
I mean, the whole thing for me doing this book was I had it in my mind to do it a long time, and I think what I needed something to push me over. And when my father passed away 8 years ago, a friend of mine mentioned to me about a year or so, he goes, why don't you write that book that you were looking at doing? And what I'm going to do is donate half the proceeds to help the disabled veterans at the EBV program at Syracuse. So, but no, the premise in that, I wanted to write the book to make it as simple as I could for like a 4th, 5th, or 6th grader to read it. However, high school kids, college kids, and even NBA players, the one thing you've got to do is you've got to get into a routine, and you got to minimize any movement which you have at the foul line, because the more movement you have, the more room there is for error.
Well, you shot close to 90% throughout your college career, which is really remarkable, and is really almost unheard of in today's game.
Growing up, though, I shot like 100 foul shots a day, and I grew up in Kirkwood, New York. There's probably more people in Rosie's now than there were in Kirkwood.
Yeah, we know, right
so
south of Binghamton.
It was something to do, and then I got in the habit, once I hit my first 100 out of 100, I wanted to do it all the time. But it also led, when I was a sophomore as a sixth man, it got me into more games earlier, because, and at the end of a game, even though I didn't start, I was normally in at the end, because if they wanted somebody to foul, I mean, luckily I was the best guy in the team. So,
how do you feel about this team and their chances to get through the next couple games?
Well, they've got a tough matchup tonight with Wisconsin. I mean, Wisconsin plays the type of game which basically Syracuse has the most trouble with. If you notice the last third of the season, everybody's been trying to slow the game down, get it to a half-court game. Wisconsin isn't doing that just for Syracuse. That's how they play the game. You've got Wisconsin, a very good man-to-man defensive team. Syracuse is a great zone team. I think whoever can make the least amount of mistakes and actually shoots the ball the best from the outside will probably win the game.
Interesting.
Yeah, no question. And absolutely. And Jimmy, we really appreciate you joining us here. And one really quick point, when you get to this level, what's the one most important thing to focus on?
All the guys got to think you're in the final 16, the regionals. The game is still the same. It's one game. It's no different than the previous 34 you've played. Everything is the same. You got a game plan, and for me, when I played, you would get nerves before the game, but it was almost once I stepped over the black border lines onto the court, it was like in a comfort zone, and okay, then you just, whatever your game plan is, you do it.
Thank you, Jimmy Levy, for joining us tonight. We'll be back with much more in a moment.
Welcome back to CBS 5's March into Madness, live from Rosie's on Tipperary Hill in Syracuse. Since the bombshell that Fab Melo would be ineligible to play in the NCAA tournament, all eyes have really been on Rakeem Christmas.
Yeah, he really has stepped up his game, probably playing his best game Saturday against Kansas State.
Yeah, no question. 8 points, 11 rebounds. Sports director John Evanson caught up with Rakeem one-on-one.
Hey, you're with Rakeem Christmas, who had 8 points, 11 boards against Kansas State, and I know you've had 4 days to digest and sort of figure out what you want to do against Wisconsin. What do you need to do to stay successful here? Continue to fill Fab's shoes?
Keep all the boards, setting screens, getting rebounds, basically just doing what I was doing before, attacking the boards, and same stuff.
Now, your teammates tell me you're just generally a nice guy. You generally, it's hard to get mad, to get edged, but when you're out there on the floor, how do you get yourself chippy? Is it just a matter of them pushing and you'll push back?
Before I used to just wait till it gets me, but now just have to get it in my mindset that I'm just going there and play hard and do all the things I need to do.
So what do you do usually to harness that sort of edge before you head out there and get ready right from the get-go?
The music I listen to before I get there, and before I get to the gym, listen to some rap music or some mellow rap music, and then when I get in here, there's some crazy stuff. I don't know, some stuff that starts to have me yelling and stuff like that. So it just gets me in the right mood.
I gotta know the song, man. What's the song? What's the song you listen to?
I listen to a lot of songs, Waka Flocka, Juicy J, stuff like that. So anything that's country and rap, and it's crazy. I just listen to it.
I'm adding it to my iPod immediately. Now, as far as Wisconsin goes, two very different styles. I know they're going to try to keep you low scoring. They're going to try to dictate the tempo. How do you guys put a stop to that immediately early in this one?
They're a good three-point shoot team, and down low they're good. So we're just going to keep them off the three-point line and keep the big men out of the lane and do what they got to do. Same thing against K-State, get rebounds, stuff like that.
So many doubters. I mean, you still read the different papers from across the country, and there's a lot of people. You guys are #1 seed, so much talent, and there's so many people who still doubt you guys. I don't know if you read that stuff, but does that kind of get to you or the team as a whole?
We don't rate it, and really just let it just go by. We just come out here and play our game and show everyone that we're #1 for a reason. We just play hard.
Last time this team was in Boston for the tournament, I mean, lots and lots and lots of Orange fans came down. It was almost like a home game. Are you looking forward to that type of atmosphere tomorrow as opposed to what you felt in Pitt? It was kind of hostile. Right?
Yeah, a lot of fans. I hope a lot of fans will be here, and we just want to show them have a good time and just play hard.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Rakeem.
And certainly this team, more than any really in SU history, has tapped into the social media outlets, Twitter, Facebook, and even YouTube.
Yeah, and when a Central New York mom posted a video of her son who was just broken up over Scoop Jardine, not only graduating, but moving on from the program, she never thought it would really make the news.
This is 4-year-old Shane, who just can't get over losing Scoop.
I want Scoop on my team still. But he's not.
One of the 75,000 people to click on this video was Scoop Jardine himself, so we invited Shane and his family to come to campus right after SU's win over Kansas State. That was on Sunday when Shane toured the Syracuse practice facility, the locker room, and got some SU-themed birthday gifts from Scoop Jardine. Shane's mom, Aubrey, says it was incredible, and now her son has a small basketball with an SU logo on it. Scoop gave it to him. He has not gone to bed one night without it.
Yeah, who can blame him? I mean, good for the team for working that out, and Scoop has been great with kids in his whole 5 years here. By the way, he graduated last year, which is to his credit, too. We have much more to come on our March into Madness Sweet 16 special as we continue live from Rosie's.
Welcome back to March into Madness, live from Rosie's. Brought to you by your Central New York Chevy dealers, seeitmychevy.com, and by Mark's Pizzeria.
Search all over the city of Syracuse for things that are synonymous with Tipperary Hill, and you will find one name comes up more than any other. It's Mr. Peter Coleman. He's with us now. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Coleman.
Thanks for having me.
You've just come off what you say is the busiest St. Patrick's Day ever for your establishments?
For sure. I've never seen anything like it. In fact, when I'm sitting down here or standing here, this is like the St. Patrick's Day of sports bars. Huh? Isn't this a great joint?
It's incredible, and the attitude here and the mood here is great as well. Let's talk about this SU basketball team. You have watched them for years. You are a lifelong Orange fan. But this team this year has had some serious news stories collide with the stories that have gone on the court. We had what happened with the Bernie Fine situation. Give me your thoughts on the fact that there has been some serious news involving this team this year.
Well, I think the way I look at it really is to face all that stuff that they're facing and keep on coming back, you know, and sticking with it and keeping your head up. It's impressed me more than anything. It really has. I mean, these guys and the coach, they've been great, and you know, they've had a lot to face.
Has what they've had to face, you think, influenced how folks feel about the team or about the program, do you think?
Well, with the Bernie Fine deal, I mean, these guys that are playing now, they didn't have any part of that, you know, so I don't know if people in general separate it, but I know I do. But we got a great team, great season.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Coleman. I really appreciate you being here. Mr. Peter Coleman is gearing up for what could be quite a night here. And we've got Brent Axe, my buddy from Syracuse Radio, 1260 The Score. He is up next. The one thing you're looking for as we continue tonight and we look towards 7:15.
from Syracuse, from the team, they have got to be patient, Michael. This is a team that loves to go out and transition. They like to dictate the flow of the game, but their discipline is going to be tested tonight by this Wisconsin team.
We'll talk about that as we continue here on CBS 5 live from Rosie's Sports Pub and Grill on Tipperary Hill. Our coverage continues right after this.
This is March into Madness on CBS 5, live from Rosie's. Brought to you by your Central New York Chevy dealers, seeitmychevy.com, and by Mark's Pizzeria.
Pub and Grill on Tipperary Hill in Syracuse. I'm Michael Benny, joined by Matt Mulcahy and Nico Tamurian as we get you ready for tip-off in Boston tonight. And now that the Wings have arrived, I'm pretty certain that Matt and Nico can handle this, and I'm out of here.
There's a lot of fryers, a lot of pizzas being made right now across Central New York. We're about 45 minutes away from the tip-off in Boston between the Syracuse Orange and the Wisconsin Badgers. It's the Eastern Regional semifinal tonight.
Absolutely. The stakes are high in this one. The winner earns a right to play in the Elite Eight Saturday, of course, with a chance at the Final Four on the line Saturday.
Now, this is Syracuse's starting lineup here tonight. We got some fans here. This is Syracuse's...
That guy's not starting.
This is Syracuse's starting lineup. The same as it was last week at Pittsburgh. The stalwarts, of course, Chris Joseph, Scoop Jardine, Brandon Trish, plus C.J. Fair, who was the newcomer until the Fab Mello thing brought Rakeem Christmas into the starting lineup. We know Dion and Sutherland and Keita will also see plenty of action tonight.
Getting past this round of the Sweet 16 is tough for any squad. We've seen that in the past. And Syracuse knows just how big a hurdle this could be. They have lived it for years now. Johnny Flynn-led 2009 team got manhandled by future NBA star Blake Griffin of Oklahoma. Remember that?
Yeah, that was 2009. The following year, 2010, the Orange was a 1 seed, and some of the veteran Syracuse players also know Chris, Scoop, Brandon, James Sutherland remember this loss in Salt Lake City 2 years ago. Fans remember too well how Syracuse lost to Rinze Milwaukee in the Big East tournament and then narrowly lost by 4 to this Butler team you see here that ended up playing in the national championship, barely lost to Duke in that game. Syracuse players just could not contain their emotion, understandably, of course, in the wake of that defeat to Butler.
Sports Director John Evanson is live in Boston right now. He has been with the team for several days now, getting a sense of just what they're going through. John.
Yes, we are about 45 minutes before tip-off here. Gorgeous night in Boston, but I'm sure SU fans will not mind being trapped inside the TD Garden here for the majority of the night, especially if it means spilling out here afterwards and hitting some of the local establishments here and celebrating a Sweet 16 victory over Wisconsin. But we got to tell you, the Badgers are an upset favorite across the nation tonight. They'll do everything they can to take SU out of their game. They love slowing down games. They've been very successful at that, but the Orange, they're on a mission. It was a much looser SU basketball team in practice than we saw come into Pittsburgh last week. With the Fab Mello ineligibility reality now processed, and with an impressive win over Kansas State to work off of, the Orange ready to get back to work against the Wisconsin Badgers.
We're all just dying to get some more wins and play next round and all. And just basically staying mentally focused and just doing what we do in practice, making sure we're warm, making sure we're loose, we're covering our bodies, and I just can't wait to play.
The Orange know how tough the Badgers are, how they like to slow down the game and protect the ball like no other, but they're counting on what brought them success all year to pull them through.
You know they're going to do a great job keeping the tempo down, so we just got make them feel uncomfortable, like I said, and just try to make them play our game.
Now, just as the key to success for the Orange is Scoop Jardine's effectiveness, the Badgers win or lose with the stellar play of their point guard, Jordan Taylor. He has a ridiculous assist-to-turnover ratio. He never gives up the ball, averages 14 points a game, 4 assists. Scoop Jardine and Jordan Taylor, they know each other very well. They played in a basketball camp, worked out against each other this past summer, so they respect each other, and they both know what they're facing tonight.
He's a great kid off the court. You know, that's what I really liked about him. And on the court, he's a bulldog. He really works hard. You know, and the things he's done in 4 years that he's been at school is great. You know, I respect the guy, and I know it's going to be a great game. And I'm happy to play against a tough guy like that.
Scoop's definitely a very good player. I'm looking forward to going against him, but not just him. You know, Dion Waiters, Brandon Trish. You know, all those guys. They got a lot of good players over there.
And Alex, we've learned a lot about the Badgers since we've been here, and they are kind of scary.
Well, absolutely. I mean, during a 3-game losing streak in January, Wisconsin coach Bo Ryan had doubts his team would even make the NCAA tournament. Once the players bought into Ryan's slow-tempo ball control offense, the Badgers got on a roll. Wisconsin hasn't been a high-scoring team, but they've also been able to limit other teams' ability to score, partly by slowing down the game, but also by holding opponents to a 26% three-point shooting percentage, second best in the country.
We do a good job of, taking care of the ball, but every possession matters, and especially when it's late in the postseason, you don't want that one possession to come back and bite you. So we're going to do the best we can, take care of the ball, and get the best shots we can.
In practice yesterday, Wisconsin focused on outside shooting. Guard Josh Gasser shot 45% from behind the arc this season, and reserve guard Ben Brust hit 7 threes in a game, twice.
The good thing with our team is we have 4 or 5 guys on the court at all times who can shoot from the perimeter, and that's definitely going to be a big part in the game. And but like I said, pounding the ball inside is still going to be a key for us.
Both Syracuse and Wisconsin have faced a lot of criticism during the tournament. SU doesn't have Fab Melo, and some skeptics say Wisconsin's run-out-the-clock slow offense just isn't good enough to beat quality teams.
That's the beautiful thing about March. Everybody has their own opinions, and now is when they come out with their opinions. So, some people are going to think that Syracuse isn't all that great. Some people are going to think we're not all that great. So that's the fun of it. It's just kind of wills going against each other, and that's kind of what you dream of growing up, getting a chance to play in this game.
Two completely different styles here. It's going to be interesting.
Very different. I mean, this Wisconsin team, a lot like the Butler team that knocked Syracuse out of the tournament 2 years ago. Real challenge for SU tonight.
You're from Boston, right, Alex? I've been hearing that accent around here a lot. I know you do your news voice back at home. Do you still have that accent in you? Or?
Oh, of course. For the Orange to win this game tonight, Scoop Jardine's got to play wicked smart here at the Garden, or they'll be headed right back across the harbor.
Stick to the news voice. All I know is you are.
Yeah, that would probably be for the best.
I'll get used to it. Reporting from Boston, Massachusetts, this is Alex Dunbar. I'm John Evanson.
Well, thank you, John and Alex, live at the TD Garden. Guys, somehow we got a different memo. They got the suits and ties on tonight, and we're all
got a bib. Was there a sale at the Sports Authority or something? You guys look great.
Nico has pulled up the buffet and is just going at it.
Why not?
We're going to get
Thank you to Rosie's. These wings are great.
Get to Rosie's fast before he eats all the wings.
My mom's going to be mad I'm not eating.
Look who's here. It's Brent Axe, yeah.
From 1260 The Score on the block. His thoughts, because few people know what the fans in Syracuse are thinking up to the minute like this guy. He's joining us as our coverage here from Rosie's continues on CBS 5.
Welcome back to March into Madness, live from Rosie's. Brought to you by your Central New York Chevy dealers. See mychevy.com and by Mark's Pizzeria.
Welcome back here to Rosie's. Of course, joining us now is Brent Axe of On the Block on the Score 1260. And Brent, I listen to On the Block a lot, and certainly
thank you.
You're welcome. But the mood of the callers from last week after the Fab Melo news broke to the mood of them this week after we saw what Rock did last week. Talk about that difference.
That was the story of last week. I mean, James Sutherland was great, and we expected this team to be here. But for Rakeem Christmas to come in and have a presence, because that's what's missing without Fab Melo, guys, that presence in the middle, he accomplished that. But that's going to get tested tonight against this Wisconsin team. They play swarming, in-your-face, man-to-man defense. He has a height advantage. He has a size advantage over this team, but can he play with the same kind of presence and the same kind of intensity? I'm really curious to see that tonight.
But I also like the idea that they play man-to-man, which seems to be a defense that Chris Joseph plays better against. Certainly Dion Waiters can drive up against pretty much any defender in the country. Doesn't that help Syracuse too?
It does in a way, Matt, but they haven't seen a man-to-man defense like this. This is the best defense in the country statistically, and I think what you're getting here is a classic best zone defense against the best man-to-man defense in the country. So I agree with you, though, Matt. You got to come out and punch the bully. You got to come out, punch them right in the mouth, right from the get-go, and tell Wisconsin that you're going to challenge these guys from the get-go. I think it's crucial that Syracuse sets the tone early and plays well in the first half, and that's part of it. You can't be afraid to attack that man-to-man defense.
Brent, let's talk about the team and the program and what it has been like to cover this year. You've been doing this for a while. Rank this team as far as how it has been to cover, both on the court and off the court, as somebody who does what you do this year. There hasn't been anything like it,
It's unprecedented. I mean, every week there's something new around the corner. On the court, off the court. The Fab Melo situation was on the court. We all know about the off the court things here. And I think what's getting interesting here, Michael, is we're now knocking on the door. They're 2 wins away. As great as this season was, and as amazing as it was that they overcame a lot to be here, I kind of got a sense that if they don't get to the Final Four, ultimately it's a letdown. I mean, they spent every week since mid-December either number 1 or number 2 in the country. You're a number 1 seed. You've won 33 games. That sets a certain expectation. So as great as it's been, I think they've got to get to the Final Four to write that final chapter.
But don't you think at this point, after getting through that UNC Asheville game, getting past the Fab Melo surprise, that they're playing like a team after the Kansas State game?
They really are.
That they really are that number 1 seed?
It's one thing to have depth. It's another that you don't lose anything from 1 to 10. These guys know their jobs. They know their roles. They do them well. And again, to block out all that other stuff that's gone off the court. But you find out you don't have Fab Melo 48 hours before your first round game. And I think it showed a little bit in that Asheville game, but they have brushed everything aside to this point. And look, Matt, this is survive and advance. And you can't spell survive without Syracuse, right?
I love it.
That's been the mantra of this team. But there's 2 more games to go before they really put that rubber stamp on this thing. I think if you get to the Final Four, whatever happens from there is gravy, but they got to get there.
And talking about tonight's match a little bit, back to the X's and O's just a little bit. We saw in that Wisconsin-Vanderbilt second-round game that when Vanderbilt slapped that 2-3 zone on, Wisconsin struggled with it and allowed Vandy to get back in the game. Do you sense Syracuse's zone maybe can have a similar effect, or do you think now that Wisconsin's had a few days to prepare, it'll be, what do you think about that?
I think you can have all the time in the world to prepare for this. You don't know it till you taste it. You're out there on the court with it. So the same thing applies to Wisconsin. Basically tonight, Nico, whatever team adjusts quicker is going to take hold and win this game, because Charles Barkley said the other day, which Jim Boeheim had an opinion about, the zone's easy to play against. You just toss it around and you shoot the ball. Well, Wisconsin's good at that. But they haven't seen a zone like this one with the athletes and the length that Syracuse brings to the table. So that's what I love about this game and this matchup. We've all seen a zone, but not the way Syracuse plays it. We all know man-to-man defense, but not the way Wisconsin plays it. So whatever team can come out and establish themselves early, that's your ball game.
Charles Barkley and Doug Gottlieb are 2 of Syracuse fans' favorite.
Don't say those names, man. People will throw stuff at us.
The SU fan club. What are you guys talking about?
Rendax, we thank you for your perspective.
Thanks, guys. Always great to be here.
Much more to come, that is, as we continue here live from Rosie's in Syracuse. Our March Madness Sweet 16 special presentation continues with some of our favorite SU players showing off how they dunk. Welcome back to our March into Madness coverage. We're coming to you live from Rosie's in Syracuse. It is 6:49 right now. We are getting very close to that 7:15 tip-off. I'm sure we'll see quite a few dunks in the game tonight. Let's take a look at some of the best of SU this year.
Not me. Switch it. Good ones there. Yes, sir.
And certainly Rosie's, look at all the fans here. You guys excited for this one?
What do you guys think about the game coming up tonight. What are your thoughts?
It's going to be a big game. Syracuse is going to win tonight. That's all I know.
Now, certainly Wisconsin, a tough team, SU, playing without guys like Fat Mello. What do you think SU needs to do to win this one?
SU needs big defense. Big defense is key in this game. Of course, they have offense. The big man could pass. The whole team is one. They could pass. All they need is defense to stop Wisconsin, and that's it.
Now, how about you guys in the back there? What are your thoughts? How do you think this is going to play out tonight? A close game the whole way, or will Syracuse get a lead early? What do you think?
I think it'll be close, but if we play our defense, get the turnovers, rebound well, we should come out with a win.
Same question there. What do you think?
Deal with Wisconsin's good defense and play our tempo, and hopefully we'll win.
What do you think it says about this team? Obviously, they're in the Sweet 16 right now. All sorts of issues off the court and losing guys on the court. What will it say about this team if they're able to get to the Final Four?
I think that it shows how strong they feel about the program and how much they love playing for Syracuse. They can put all that stuff on the sidelines and then go out there and play basketball.
You guys all got your orange on. You guys didn't get a chance to go home, right?
I just came back from New York City,
Right, so you're working.
Yeah, just came right here to see the game.
That's right.
Nowhere else you'd rather watch it, right, than here in Central New York?
Yeah, let's go.
Thanks, fellas. Great opinions here tonight. We know that the girls that are with you, too, they have opinions that just didn't want to share them on television. Yeah.
No, we got one waving. There you go.
See, they are here in the background. It's going to be a fun night here at Rosie's for sure, and all across Central New York as people enjoy the big game. We'll be back with more.
Welcome back to March into Madness, live from Rosie's. Brought to you by your Central New York Chevy dealers, seeitmychevy.com, and by Mark's Pizzeria.
Now you're starting to feel the energy.
Now we got them riled up, as only we know how to do. Welcome back to Rosie's on Tipperary Hill here in Syracuse. We are just now about, 25 minutes away from tip-off in Boston.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting night for everybody. Fans here at Rosie's are going to have a great time. Certainly people staked up their spot on the couch at home. I think most people actually, that's how they focus on the game. Wouldn't you say that's true, Brad?
Fans have traditions. My spot on the couch, got to watch it the same way, got to be in the same place. I'm sure some people here at Rosie's are fighting for the same bar stool. The farther you get, the more traditional people get. I'm like that way too. I'm with you. Totally.
I was a senior in high school when they won the championship in 03, not to date myself or anything here. And I did not wash my Queth Delaney jersey for 3 weeks until they won the national championship.
So you were a Queth
Well, it was the only one they sold at the time. I liked Queth. He was a great player.
But I love this crowd. I love the crowd. There was word earlier, and it may have just been a rumor, that there was a Wisconsin fan in here. I hope that person, they're actually physically okay right now.
That's a brave soul. That is a brave soul.
I didn't see any Wisconsin shirts for sale.
No,
in
but
any of the 10 stores I went to today to get this.
So you found quite a nice
I finally
one.
did. Everybody looks just great tonight.
Nothing like getting
what do we look for? Final thought tonight, Brent?
I think Syracuse is going to win 66-60, guys. They have to play the most disciplined and really their best game of the year. But you know what? Cliches come to life this time of the year. We say you got to play your best game of the year in the Sweet 16. Well, you do to beat a team like this, but I think Syracuse will win.
Nico, do you think that's the right score? Is
I was saying 60-56 all day. I think we're on the right track. Low-scoring defensive battle, but in the end,
which means it'll be 90-87
that's right,
if we're predicting
I say Syracuse wins by 8 or 10. I think Syracuse has a little more easy than that.
We're going to find out. One way or the other, someone's going to be right. Someone may be close to right. We're really hoping that no one is.
Have a good night.
On what